Hello, everyone. So sorry about the delay that happened with getting stream started up today. YouTube was acting a little finicky as far as wanting to go live there. I had to, because I use Meld to facilitate my stream, and I have been trying out their multi beta, and multi was acting a little weird with YouTube today. But I forced it to stop. Once I forced it to stop and tried it again, it worked out okay. Kick doesn't seem to want to work for me over there. And I wanted to try it again just to see if I forced it to stop like I did with YouTube. If it would decide to work, and the answer to that question is no. It's not liking Kick at the moment. I don't know if Kick's not liking it or it's not liking Kick, which one it is. But I wanted to try it out because it seemed like, the other day, especially Twitch looked extremely good. And I'm using it for Twitch for sure. And I was like, wow, if I can get all of them to look that amazing, that would be great. But Universe says no, it did not want to do that. Anyhow, so continuing from last week. So last week, we created this absolutely amazing Hrothgal. And I posted an announcement in Discord, and you can see that I have another character that I had opened on the screen here, and there's a name below this character that I just created last week. I can't quite put it in the words as to, like, during stream, I was absolutely in love with this character. I loved her so much. And I was like, yes, we are going to be the beefy healer, the one who's just picking everyone up off the battlefield and running them around and being the absolute best, because she's just a complete and total badass. And I don't know why I'm not feeling the connection with her like I usually do. I don't know why, because I'm like, that story behind her, I'm like, that's absolutely amazing. And I love her outfit. And there's things about her that I do love. I'm not getting quite the connection with her like I usually do with characters. So I decided, during some of my free time this week, I made an alt character that is a Lalafell and wanted to give her a little bit of a try. And got her to the same place. Now, she is only level 4 as opposed to Contra level 6 there, because I didn't do the hunts like I had done with Zay there. This character, Boba, she has not done any of the hunts in the hunt log yet, but I knew that would be something that would be super quick to do as far as her catching up journey. But as far as MSQ goes, she is in the exact same place, still at the checking out of her gear and making sure that her gear all checks out. Thank you. That was the other thing. We were talking about the Lalafell hair, and I was like, man, I think she would be so cute having that hair. But then I ended up doing a different hair, and I wanted to name her Boba Mocha, but Square Enix said, no, you can't use that name. So I'm guessing that's a celebrity name somewhere. And they're just like, no, you can't use that. I was like, dang it. I think that would at least kind of go with the Lala naming convention, with somewhat of the rhymey rhyme. Not as rhymey rhyme as Lalas typically go, but at least it would somewhat go. But I'm thinking, at least for today, maybe I progress with Boba, and then before next Sunday, I get to the same place with Zay and kind of see how we're feeling altogether as to whether I should continue with the cat gal or continue with this little Lalafell. Something to keep in mind that honestly I haven't gotten to experience myself. Lalafells do have some little areas that they have that are exclusive to them. The other races are too big to fit in these little areas. I tried on my tiny little shoot. Why am I spacing on their names? Anyway, some of my characters are really tiny and not that much bigger than a Lalafell. And I tried getting to them with them, and Grace was like, no, you can't go in there. You're not Lalafell. And on top of that, there's just so many little memes that come with being a Lalafell. Like, so many people like to pet the Lalafells. Someone in my free company actually decided earlier today, because they recently decided to Fantasia into a Lalafell, they kept getting pet, so they swapped the blue mage and self-destructed. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally a Lalafell thing to do. I feel like there's just so much that it's like, oh yeah, this is totally a Lalafell thing. Like, they just definitely have their brand, and that could be why I'm just not feeling quite as in love with my Hrothgal at the moment, because it's like I feel like they're still the new and mysterious race on the block, whereas Lalafells, they be ambitious. They will Tanya Harding your kneecaps if it came down to it. Like they have, their race is so much more clearly defined, at least for me. So I'm like, I feel like I can lean into all of it so well. Thanks for subscribing, Mortem. And thank you for lurking too. Good to see you. Honestly, I know if he was in chat, he would be like, well, you've got to annoy the crap out of everybody with some of the Lalafell emotes. But let's get loaded in. I should have been loading in as I was talking. Something else I did do with this character, I have 10 mails again already. I did go through my 20 mail messages. That way I was not capped out on my mail, and I could surprise spam meta. Yeah, Lala meta, I guess. But I was going through my mail messages and wanted to make sure I got everything that I could. That way I wasn't capped out on mail and I could get the rest of everything. Some of the things that I got, because I've been subscribed for so long, is a lot of gear. And I also got, because I have a lot of the collector editions from olden times and everything, I have the Helm of Light, which is item level 11, which really, really helps with that level 5 quest for anybody who does happen to get that Helm of Light. But also, like we talked about last week, there is a vendor that's right by that level 5 quest, so it is super easy to complete that quest, even if you don't have that gear coming in the mail. Another thing that I've got is some glam pieces for being subscribed for so long. So some sprouts, when you get this mail, I highly recommend the next time you go to your main city, so in my case, that would be Gridania. The next time you go there, check into an inn whenever you can. And when you are at the inn, as soon as you can, throw these, because they have those 3 icons. There's that plus icon, and then there's like a little dresser icon, and then there's a second dresser icon. The dresser icon all the way to the right when I'm hovering over this means that I can throw it in my armoire, I recommend going ahead and throwing it in your armoire if you're not planning on wearing it right now. That way it's ready and available to you whenever you start to use clamps. I'm not going to wear it right now because my gear has a higher item level, and so I take it, it's going to throw it in my chest. I also recommend, as you get mail, as you go, just delete, because you can only have so many mail pieces, and that includes whether you've read them or not. Like it says I have 10 read and 11 total. I could only have 20 total that are happening in the purchases and rewards box. So I recommend delete as you go. Don't hoard onto those mail pieces. Sometimes I do like to keep one. That way I know how long I've had a character for, just because I have a lot of alts. Chocobo carriage, account-wide. So I'm just collecting a whole bunch of account-wide stuff. And this is... Yeah, I'm like, I keep the oldest one and then I delete everything else. Because I like to know without having to enter in a command or anything like that. Because about the only time I'm curious is actually when I'm checking mail and just kind of, I'm like, oh, hey, how long have I been playing this game for? Because even though the startup screen will kind of tell you all of that, it rounds, so it's not 100% accurate, whereas in-game, it will tell you exactly how many days you've had that character for. So you can kind of have like a little anniversary with them. Yes, exactly. Like with playtime, you could have lots and lots of playtime with them. You could also have like next to no playtime with them, but it be like a really, really old character. Like for instance, comparatively, my character on Diabolos that's named Zay, she is technically my 1.0 character. She has the back tattoo and everything, but she has a lot less playtime than my main character Zelda does, despite being the older character by all technicalities. I'm going to dim down my light here. On light dim. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button to dim it because I was like, wait a minute, I can't see much of anything in this game right now. This game be dark sometimes in some of these areas, and it doesn't help that I had so many lights in my face that are just blinding me a bit. I think that is totally fair. I tend to go more of a lazy approach when it comes to leveling alts, where it's like, okay, I will do like, as far as daily queues go, at best I do frontline. Like I'm not going to do dungeons and all that stuff most of the time unless my main character is completely capped out. There's only been a couple times where I've done much of anything else beyond that. But that was because I wanted like specific rewards. Like for instance, one of my alts, I would do Alliance Roulette, but that was because I was getting materia by queuing in as need. So sometimes I did that with alts, but not super often did I do a ton beyond MSQ to level them up. And I definitely did not do the whole I'm leveling absolutely everything on those characters. It usually, with the fact that several of them do have multiple level 100s, it's more the fact that it depends on what I like playing the most on my main character, and it just changes all the time. And sometimes I also like having a good variety of different things because sometimes I'm using my alt character to support some newer players and stuff. Like there was a little while that my sister was playing the game and she was learning how to tank. So I used my alt character to heal her. And I felt like that went really well. And she seemed to really enjoy that. That way, it wasn't quite the intimidation factor of, oh, hey, I'm going to throw my main character in there with you. And she's like super geared up. Because in Endwalker, I did a much better job of making sure I was up to date on content and geared up. So, MSQ here. Though it may not appear to the eyes of an outsider, the 12's wood is ailing. Its once rich variety of fading memory. For citizens of Gridania, the restoration of the forest is a sacred duty, and it is my hope that adventurers such as you will offer to aid them in their struggle. Listen to their requests and do all you can. May the elementals bless your endeavors, Bobamoki. Something else that I did do with this character that I did not do with my other characters, my other new character that I had created, is I did go ahead and set up my hub. And while certain settings I do recommend to do as a sprout, I would kind of put an asterisk on that one. Because, like, for instance, a sprout that's never played an MMO is going to have no idea what they would prefer. I just recommend moving things a little bit around to kind of go with your screen a little bit better. Because, like I mentioned in the video that I had made about creating a HUD, it's like they did not create the HUD based upon everybody else's or what screen everybody's playing. Like, especially console players, most of the time console players are playing on a pretty big screen, and that HUD's not made for that. Like, I feel like it's like for PC, I feel like they made it for like my smallest monitor that I have. That's like a 12-inch monitor or maybe a laptop size monitor. But most of my monitors are 27 inches and then my main one is 32 inches. So the HUD just looks terrible on my computer. It was going to drive me nuts. So I did go through and basically replicated my main character's HUD settings because I know that that is a preference. The other caveat that I would say is if you're new to Final Fantasy XIV, know that you are probably going to be messing with your HUD quite a bit. Like, that's just going to be a thing. I still mess with my HUD from time to time to this day, just because, like, sometimes I'm like, ooh, actually, I think I would like to have this. Like, I think maybe a year ago, I moved my mini-map to be at the bottom instead of at the top. Because with my larger monitor, I find that I am looking downward more so than I'm looking upward. So it's nice to have my mini-map closer to the bottom of my screen where I'm looking at other things as opposed to the top. And I kind of did the same thing with where I am on quest progression. I'm actually going to make an adjustment to where I have the player guide, because right now it is hiding behind me on the screen. So I'll move it up on the screen so we can see that a little bit better. Actually, I might move it over to this open gap here. There we go. That way we can see a little bit better where I am on the quest progression as I'm working on that with this character. I also recommend, like, if you have played other MMOs, like messing with some of the settings to kind of make it feel a little bit more comfortable. Because, like, for instance, one reason I like having my inventory open was because, like, in World of Warcraft, I liked being able to see all of my inventory or all of my bags at once. I liked having that. And with this inventory, there is still a bigger gap between each of the tabs to kind of help me figure out what's in what tab. What it actually is it's flooring from the Crystal Tower is what's behind me. I wish it was a chair. I feel like it would be a pretty badass chair. But yeah, I put that there so that way it would completely hide my in-game chat. So that way that's not all showing. I do apologize that I know that those pings get really annoying from my in-game chat, but it lets me know when I have different chat messages happening, which is like another setting that I do recommend, especially for any sprouts that are like, I am coming to the game, I bought the full game, and I want to play with my friends. Making sure that you set up your alerts when you get messages, because if I didn't have those alert sounds, I would have no idea when people were sending messages. So to kind of go over some of those settings, the first one in system is going into your HUD layout, which was how I got to all of this, and moving some things around. As I said, like, I kind of put an asterisk on that one because, like, especially new players are just not going to know what they want if they've never played an MMO before. But at least make it more comfortable, at least temporarily, because it's honestly super easy to move things around. What can be a little bit more annoying is trying to go into like the chat settings and trying to set up alerts. So like I'm going to go into notification sounds. That's where I'm looking for. So if you go into your character configuration and go into the log window settings, you can set up a specific chat that has some of the things you want to focus on. Personally, I recommend waiting until more familiar with the game than fresh out of the gate for setting that up. But at the very least, like if you're starting out and you're like, I have friends that I am gaming with, definitely set an alert sound for party. If you're joining a free company and want to be active in that free company, setting some sort of alert sound, and you can press on the little music note so that way you know what sound is playing. It's honestly really, really nice to have. And I kind of went a little excessive with it. Personally, I found when I first started playing the game, I was like, I don't know what I want. I just know I want notification sounds. I need them. So I set it for just about everything except for Novice Network, which I didn't join when I first started playing, and I do not regret it. I know some people on one of my videos was like, oh, just join Novice Network as soon as you can. I kind of go back and forth on that advice because I know some servers, the Novice Network is really bad about spoilers. So that's why I'm like, I don't know whether to join that or not. And then emotes itself, I know when I'm getting an emote most of the time. But I didn't necessarily need a notification sound for that when I first started, and then I just never ended up setting one. And then the bag settings. That's good that Hyperion is pretty good about avoiding spoilers. Like I remember I had went ahead and joined one on Aether. I don't remember what server it was on Aether that I had joined the Novice Network for, but I remember it was really bad as far as spoilers go. Because they would, like, someone would ask for help with a specific instance, and then they would start talking about what that instance was and where they were in MSQ and everything. And it was like, well, it's great that's where you are at on MSQ, but there are plenty of people that are in the chat that are like fresh to the game and stuff. So I was like, maybe don't talk about that. Like that might be a good thing to keep, like, a little bit more to conversation of people who are like, yeah, I'll come help. Like, talk to those people in party chat instead of talking about it in Novice Network. And the other one that I mentioned was inventory. Like, I know some people just don't like having everything opened all at once, but maybe don't want to have to go through all the tabs. Expanded works really well for that, or just sticking with normal so that way the tabs are all there. I just like the open all. Those are just some really nice settings to set up at the start. And then I also did the exact same thing I did on that character I did last Sunday, which was changing the camera settings. I feel like that one's probably the most important because nothing ticks me off faster in a game when, like, especially controller games, like, it annoys me when I'm used to a regular controller camera control setting and the game is like, well, guess what? This one's inverted style and you can't change it. It makes me mad. I don't like when the game doesn't let me change those settings, but you can change those settings in this game, like almost to a too high of a degree, I guess I should say. But change those settings to something that you are comfortable with if you have played other games, because otherwise, if you don't have it set up the way that you want it to be, then this game will piss you off really fast. Because there's so much other things that you want to focus on that isn't let me figure out which way my camera's supposed to be moving when I use the joysticks. At least that's my opinion on that. Like, I get so pissed off when the camera doesn't move the way I want it to. The other tip that I have for Sprouts, so my character has hit level 5. I shouldn't have made my experience bar so small because that's just not going to show up on stream very well. I should have kept that in mind when I was replicating all of my settings, but I was just focused on replicating all of my settings. So with my Conjurer's experience bar here, actually, let me just move it to the top of the screen. That one I don't feel like I need to look at nearly as often as like my mini map. I live off of the mini map. I need to know where everything is at all times. And I need to know where I am at all times. Like, I love mini maps to the point that I needed a mini map in Stardew Valley. Like, any games that don't have a mini map, if I can get a mini map, I'm going to get that mini map. But the experience bar, I don't need to look at so often. But now I'm level 5. And like we saw last Sunday, there is a level 5 Conjurer quest. But in this bubble here, which again, I'm also going to make that bigger. So I have it at the bottom of my screen here, the box that is scenario guide. With the scenario guide, it is going to tell you where your MSQ quest is at. And when you click on it, it's going to show you exactly on your map where the MSQ quest is going to be at. And then underneath of it, it's really, really small on my screen when looking at it on stream. But underneath of it, it says Trial by Earth. That is my next class quest. And when I click on that part specifically, it's going to show me exactly where on the map my next class quest is. And I highly recommend for Sprouts to primarily focus on MSQ and class quests first before anything else. Like, I know that a lot of people when they play MMOs are like, no, I just want to rush to level cap. When you first start the game, it's more of a take your time, make sure you do those class quests, make sure that you do your MSQ. Those are going to be not only the ways that you get your leveling experience, but also those class quests and later on the job quests are going to unlock so many abilities for you to be able to do. And later on, like I posted in one of my videos, you'll get your job stone. And eventually my Conjurer will transform into her job instead of remaining a little Conjurer. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this MSQ quest. That way I have it and don't have to click on the thing here. And I accidentally clicked through that first bubble, so I'm going to read it out loud I went to the event tab So if you accidentally do the same thing, you could always go to the event tab so long as you haven't changed its settings, and it will give you the NPC's dialogue. You can also, if you press one of the, like if it's in a cutscene, if you press a certain key, it will automatically progress the dialogue. But since I'm not actually in a cutscene, it will not automatically progress the dialogue. But sometimes the auto progression, you want to adjust that. But I will do that when I get to a cutscene. Anyhow, let's read what this NPC is talking about. I see you are eager to lend a hand, Boba. That is well, but I cannot in good conscience send you into the forest until I have established that your equipment is equal to the task. It bears repeating that in 5 years since dawn of the 7th Umbral era, many of the 12 fluids creatures have transformed into vicious, bloodthirsty monsters. Venturing into the forest without the proper gear is tantamount to suicide. I suggest that you take some time to evaluate your equipment. Once you deem your armor to be sufficient quality, please present yourself to me for inspection. So I need to be equipped with level 5. I thought that was what I did before, but apparently I was not at the exact same place my last character was at. No wonder I was only level 4 compared to her level 6. And now let me talk to him again, because because we verified that my headpiece. I should set that up to do the JP dub. Let me finish this quest real quick. Ready for inspection, are we? Right then. Eyes forward, back straight. Yes. I think he passed muster. You would be surprised at how many young, promising soldiers get themselves killed by rushing off into the woods without first donning a decent set of armor. I honestly don't think I would, but, you know. Your equipment, however, should provide the required degree of protection. Consider yourself ready for duty, Boba. Huzzah, I am ready for duty. And the good thing is that with weapons in this game, each weapon can only be equipped by specific classes. So for instance, like the Lancer arm that's here can only be equipped by Lancer and Dragoon. The bow can only be equipped by Archer and Bard. And the wand here can only be equipped by Conjurer and White Mage. And they did do a nice job with the user interface to put in red when you don't meet the requirement. So I am not a Lancer, so I cannot equip the Bone Harpoon. I am not an Archer, so I cannot equip the Maple Shortbow. But I am a Conjurer, so I can equip that Maple Wand, which is why now those jobs are listed in green instead of the red. And I was going to go ahead and grab that. The nice thing here as well is within the user interface of your character. So I just hit C to go to my character, but you can also go to the menu and go to character there. And one of the buttons in that interface is recommend gear, and it is generally going to recommend gear based upon item level. Whatever the higher item level is with the better stats is what's going to get equipped. Not always is it the higher item level, especially at these lower levels. Sometimes it is going to be more based upon the stats. So like this one has better magic damage than what I have currently equipped. So it's going to say, yeah, you want the new item. Let's go into system configuration here. Trying to remember how to change. I don't want to change theme, gamepad, mousepad, graphics, sound. Think there. No, doesn't look like it's going to be in there. Character configuration. I'm in control settings. That's definitely not going to be where it's at. Why am I even looking there? Give me just a second to refresh my memory on how to change settings to be in Japanese here. System, other language. Okay, so I was correct. System, other. And then we're going to go to language settings. And that's why I was like, I don't remember this one. It automatically does it adjust the client. So since I have everything on my computer set up to English, it automatically went to English. And switching it to Japanese is just going to change the cutscene audio to be in Japanese. So that way you can still get the correct subtitles for your language. And I do like their whole disclaimer there saying, depending on the language selected, audio may not match the subtitles. Oh, don't worry. I think it's a good idea for me to do it. It's something I was talking about. I was getting my hair done the other day, and I was talking to my hairstylist. I was like, I was learning Japanese there for a little while, and then I missed a day in my Japanese lessons, and that was not quite 2 years ago, and I haven't done a Japanese lesson since then. I really need to get back into doing some of my Japanese learning. And I think this could be a fun way to do it. Like, I know that there are definitely some times that something is said in Japanese and there isn't necessarily an English word for it, or vice versa. So sometimes it is using the most similar word for it. And I've been finding that a lot as I've been trying to explore more sign language too. Like, there's not always a signed word that goes with the spoken word. So sometimes it's trying to sign the thing that's the most similar to it. And it's been interesting to go through all of that. Let's see here. Let's go ahead. And now that I've actually properly inspected my gear, like I thought I'd already done and failed to do, because I was a quest behind where I was at. Oh yeah, with going to the gym, I used to be, like, back when I was still in college, there for a little bit, I spent probably way too much time at the gym, but I also had a huge gap in between classes. Like, I started classes at 8 a.m. and my class schedule didn't end until 9 p.m. So it was a huge gap, and I was a commuter student, so I didn't want to go home necessarily. So, like, some of the windows I worked, but I couldn't make my work schedule on campus quite work out. So during the gaps that I didn't work, I went to the gym and just worked out and got a little too crazy about it. Totally ruined my metabolism, actually. The one time that the gym was actually bad for me. Bobo, by your tireless efforts, you have proven yourself a friend to Gridania. I believe you could be trusted with sensitive intelligence. I would assign you a mission of considerate import, yet the need for secrecy prevents me from disclosing its details until you've pledged your participation. I am authorized to tell you only that it concerns suspicious activity in the Twellswood. Say that you will lend us your aid, and I shall proceed with the briefing. Good. Time is of the essence, so listen well. I have automatic progression, so I'm going to hit the space bar and turn that off. So that way I have a chance to verbally read it, because otherwise it's going to progress faster than I can read it out loud, because, I mean, we know I stumble on my words really bad sometimes. You will by now have heard that suspicious individual has been seen prowling the Twellswood. And you may also be aware that the Ixali activity has risen sharply in the in the region of late. What you may not know is that this increase coincided almost exactly with the first recorded sighting of the aforementioned individual. Suspecting a connection, we tightened our surveillance in hopes of tracking down our unknown visitor. Alas, our query is proving to be exceedingly elusive, almost as if he knows our movements ahead of time. Interesting. But where whole units have failed, a lone adventurer may yet succeed. Acting independently and covertly, you may be able to close in on our query unnoticed. Fear and anxiety are beginning to take their toll upon the citizenry, Boba. For their sake, I ask that you aid us in this investigation. Well, of course. I will, of course, aid you. I am a super ambitious Lalafell. I just want to be of service to everyone so that I may accomplish my quest for world domination. And what better way to do that than to make everyone think I just want to totally catch this bad guy. I will make everyone fall prey to me instead of him. You have my gratitude. With your help, I am hopeful we shall shed light upon this mystery. Begin your search at Lifemen Stump. It is there that the majority of the sightings took place. Be forewarned, my people cannot offer you support, lest our query catch scent of our presence and invade us yet again. Proceed with caution. I like that he is trusting my tiny little Lalafell self with this when I am like, bro, we just met. And I do like that. Like, at least this tutorial, it kept it nice and short. It's just like, hey, if it's glowing, you probably want to interact with it. And you can, if you're on mouse and keyboard, you just right click. Sweet. And when I look at the map to see where I'm supposed to go for this MSQ, it's actually kind of a long walk. So I'm going to take this opportunity to cannot execute at this time. What do you mean I cannot execute this at this time? I need to go to travel. I was hitting the wrong button. I was using the wrong keybind. I copied over my keybinds from my main character too, just because I'm so used to them. But that's not something I would necessarily say that a Sprout should worry about right at the get-go, just because not going to know what you need keybinds for at the start. Oh, I love that dye on this dress. I know it's a shop glam, but how they dyed that, that's gorgeous. How the black contrasts with that. Like that's really pretty. I like that. Okay. No more distraction. Need to go to the Conjurer's Guild. I also should change something I'd copied from my main character was I hid everybody's that's like not on my friends list and stuff. I hid names and I need to have people's names showing up. Other player characters. There we go. There we go. At least I have names over other people, even if it is initials. Going through all these dark caves, they look way lighter on stream than they do on my screen. And now we have Trial by Earth. The reason I wanted to go ahead and pick this up for anybody that is a Sprout is because I noticed that MSQ quest was kind of a long jaunt. And it's like, well, if I need to make a long jaunt, I should at least just go ahead and pick up my class quest. And on top of that, there is a chance that the class quest that could coincide with that long jaunt anyway. So if I'm going to make the long jaunt, I might as well make it once instead of trying to make it twice. Working smarter, not harder. It is good to see you again, Boba. By the air of serenity that surrounds you, it is plain that you have learned to draw upon the energy of creation. I am glad. It is the wellspring of all our power, yet the energy of creation is not one thing but many, and to call upon all without first knowing each is contrary at its most basic. How can I not say the word basic right now? Basic. It is contrary at its most basic. I blame the weather. As a part of your continuing education, it is my desire that you now learn about the element of earth. Make your way to the blessed bud in the North Shroud and partake of Hur Nolnal's wisdom. The depth of his affinity for the elementals of rock and soil is all but unique amongst conjurers, and he is a gifted instructor besides. You may be certain of receiving a most enlightening lesson on the subject of Earth. All right, so the thank you for the follow, official. So my run on this case does not happen to coincide, but I am still going to go ahead and take that side jaunt, because having that extra ability, if it so happens to unlock one with a job or with a class quest, is always going to be helpful with continuing with future quests. So I may as well go ahead and sidestep. In addition to that, going to another zone, each time you explore various areas gives you experience. So I may as well just go ahead and go into the North Shroud, get that experience for exploring that map. With all the Realm Reborn zones, the entire map is explored the moment that you enter that zone. This does not happen in the other expansions. The other expansions, you have to travel around the map to unlock all parts of the map. A Realm Reborn is special in the way that it just unlocks the entire map for you in that view for you to see as soon as you step foot in that zone. So I do think that has a lot to do with the fact that a Realm Reborn zones have a tendency to be significantly more complex than some of the newer zones. Some of the newer zones, I mean, they still have some level of complexity, but they don't quite have like some of these smaller paths to get to other areas, and trying to map everything out region by region would get so incredibly frustrating to do with a Realm Reborn. So it just unlocks the entire map, which could be really helpful, because back in the 1.0 days, everything was just a path, and it was a pain in the royal ass finding everything. What I am going to do is I am going to, as I run along here, I'm just going to tag a bunch of stuff that have the little swirling icon above their heads, because they are a part of my hunt log. And with your hunt log, when you go into the logs menu, it will come up there. And the reason I am using arrow on all of these is it deals damage over time. So all these things, as I run around, I can just grab more and more and more, and the more time passes, the more damage they're going to do. And I can continue to run as I am casting it because it does not have the cast timer. Move away from that treant so I don't accidentally make him mad, because though I am not level 2 like the last time I was around that treant will still smash me. Don't want to upset the treant. Okay, I tagged too many. This was something that I always really liked at lower levels in World of Warcraft. I really liked Warlock a lot because it was so easy to just run around and just dot a bunch of stuff. And they would take so much damage over time at those low levels that it was so easy to kill things at the very start. Please don't get mad at me, Triet. Okay. Oh no. So, the mistake that I made is that you can't, like when running around and tagging things like what I was doing, you want to make sure you maintain a certain distance because otherwise they will no longer be ticked off at you. If they have to run, like in general, baddies are lazy. They don't want to be running around too much. So if you run too far away from them, they are going to be like, I give up. I'm going back to where I was at and just not going to chase you anymore. But anyhow, back to talking about that hunt log. The hunt log could be absolutely wonderful for getting a little bit of extra experience. And I just like to do it as I go running from place to place, particularly as I notice them at those lower levels, because typically at those lower levels, the reason they are on your hunt log is because they're going to come up along your path as you are going from quest to quest, whether it be like I'm doing right now with doing my Conjurer quest, or if I were to be working on MSQ. I am probably going to be running into those things. It's not until later on that they start introducing some things to your hunt log that you might not necessarily come across during your time working on MSQ. Or your job quests. I will also continuously interchange job quests and class quests at these lower levels just because later on it's job quests and then really, really, really later on it's role quests. So I'm not used to saying class quests. I'm so used to saying job quests. So I will be making that mistake quite a few times. You seek here Nolanol? Then seek no more, for you have found him. What can I do for you, friend? So Brother Isumiyan bid you come to me to learn of the element of earth. That is well. The power of earth is the solid foundation upon which a conjurer stands. I could happily lecture you for days on its intricate variations and properties. Please don't, sir. Please don't. But I rather suspect the busy life of an adventurer would not afford the time required for such extended discourse. Yes, thank you, because we have things to battle. Accordingly, I shall offer you an opportunity to experience the qualities of Earth firsthand in combat. Yes, this alt is a la lethal, and we'll probably do the same thing that you have with your character and putting on bunny ears at some point. I will probably be doing that because she just needs them. Now mark me well, Boba, and do exactly as I command. East of here, in the grounds of Treespeak Stables, there exists a patch of soil that bears the mark of corruption. Seek it out. When you have found the place, reach out to the focus of the Earth's trauma and attempt to commune with it as all conjurers can. Yeah, I feel like that this is my path to being a short Viera. Like, I love the Viera. I just wish they could be short. And this is the path. This is the way. Resentful of your intrusion, the taint being that feasts unseen upon the energies seeping in the wounded earth shall then appear, using the powers of conjuring, strike it down and prevent the land chance to heal, and permit the land, not prevent, permit the land. Much of the nature of Earth will be revealed to you upon the struggle, Boba. I trust you will return to me a wiser woman than she who now departs. All right. And I'm running right into a cliff because Like I said, my screen is so much darker than what appears on stream. But I also should have opened up my map and seen, hey, I am running right into a cliff. Okay. So what I like about sometimes what they do with quests, and this is one of the first times that they did it with this one, aside from when you have multiple targets that you're going for, is it just gives you a general area that you need to look for something and interact with it. So not always is it going to tell you 100% exactly where something is at. You're given the opportunity to be able to run around and search for it. So right now, like you can see, I am not finding a way to sneak past this building. I was really hoping there was going to be a way for me to sneak past the building, even though on the map it doesn't look like there would be one. I was like, can I use my tiny little Lalafell privilege to sneak past this building? Ready, please? I'm a cute little tiny boba. But no, it says I cannot do that. I'm also wondering if it's inside of the building. So actually... Of course. It says no. Let me in! I'm a Lalafell and I'm so cute! Just because I don't have bunny ears, let me in! I said I need bunny ears in order to go in. I'm not a good enough adventurer yet! No! Oh well, turns out it's not in the building anyway. It's behind the building. And how I could tell is with this purple glow. So for any sprouts, like we saw in that tip earlier with the glowing, it means I should probably interact with this. But this one isn't just a typical glowing, it is a purple glowing. When it is purple like this, it is indicating that when you interact with it, you're going to be entered into combat. If it's just a regular glowing, you are not going to be entered into combat. Or, well, I should clarify. Purple means you have the potential to be entered into combat. Regular glowing, you're not going to enter combat. So it just tells you be on edge a little bit because combat could be coming. And in this case, here's the combat. And with any job that is like this one, you should always try to maintain a damage over time if you have a damage over time. Not all classes and jobs have that, but if you've got it, do it. Maintain it. Keep it there because it will passively do damage as you go. And it's going to do nothing but help you. And be careful because sometimes after the purple glow and you interact with it, sometimes it will do a regular glow after that, telling you to interact with it again. And in that case, you won't enter combat again, but you do need to interact with it again. There have been plenty of times where there'd be a glow afterwards and I'd miss it and I'd start returning back to the NPC and I'm like, why can I not progress this quest? And then I look at the map and it's like, oh, apparently I was supposed to click on something else. Welcome back, Boba. The elementals whisper of your accomplishments. How did it feel to confront the embodiment of Earth, to endure its onslaught? Has the crushing power of this element shaken the very marrow of your bones? Corruption occurs when the land's wounds are prevented from healing. In vanquishing the tainted sprite, you permitted the Earth's energies to flow unimpeded and to nourish the land once more. That's nice. Can you not sense the strength of the earth returning? Already the land begins to heal. Thanks to your actions, the field will once again bear bountiful crops. So one thing I absolutely do love about Conjurer's story is that you're not just healing other people, you are also bound to healing the land and making sure that the land is properly healed up as well. So it's all about making sure all the good energies are out there, which is just a good feeling. When you next have reason to call upon your art, look back upon this task that which you accomplished. Experience once more the grinding weight of the earth's fury and revel in the memory of life flowing anew through the land you helped restore. With such thoughts shall your understanding of nature continue to grow. I hope you are paying attention, Sophie. A child that is way taller than me. See this adventurer here? Boba came all the way from Stillgrade Plain just to hear my lesson. You would do well to learn from her example. If you wish to become a conjurer worthy of the name, you must make an effort to study nature. Do you attend me, young lady? Well, she's a kid. Why should I bother studying nature? Because the earth's hurting. We had a calamity. I can conjure already. See? Give me just a second here. Sorry about that. I had to pause for a second because my daughter just woke up from her nap and she's giving me the stank eye. She's like, I'm not sure about being awake right now. I want to go back to sleep. And it's like, serious vibes right now, kids. Serious vibes. See? Well, child, just because you can heal people doesn't make you the best conjurer ever. Like, you should still care about the earth. You have a rare gift for healing, Sylphie. A wonderful gift. Yet there's more to being a conjurer than... I don't want to do more. I want to heal. I'm good at healing. You can't make me do those other things. Oh yes, I was totally following that Euler. My child not wanting to be awake right now, wanting to nap more. Totally based. like this one not wanting to do more. Like, no. You need to be able to do more. Because, so, for any sprouts in Final Fantasy XIV, what makes a healer so extra in this game is that you're not just healing, you are supposed to be doing damage to enemies. And the reason that is because the more, or helping progress the fight means there's less to have to worry about later on, the less that you have to heal. So, and less things that your DPS and your tanks have to worry about. So you want to be helping as much as you can with the battle. Yes, exactly right, Lethal. Green DPS. That's what I love playing. I love being a green DPS. I love doing so much damage. And pretty much it's when people need healed, of course you heal. But if people don't need healed, you are a damage dealer. You are doing damage. Are you doing amazing damage? No. But you are still doing damage, which is why there is more to Conjuring than just healing. Like, yes, healing is very important. And, like, the Conjurer is essential for that. But do more than that. Like, help the rest of the team out and help yourself out. Because sometimes if you're doing damage, you can miss a lot of things that would do a ton of damage. Yes, Holy is the best heal. Oh, I'm surprised she didn't stay to give us more sass. I feel like at that age, like I feel like Sass is king for a long time. And then Sass is no longer king for a few years. It's just angst. Then back to Sass. And then for some people, they mature and are no longer sassy. Sometimes I like to think that I am that person. And other times I'm like, no, I could be too sassy sometimes. Sometimes I wonder why I even try. Well, she didn't sassy though, so, you know. Like she just said she didn't want to do more. Sophie joined the guild shortly before you came to us. As you yourself just experienced, she possesses a prodigious talent for healing. Indeed, despite her tender years, I know a few conjurers who are her equal in that field. Which is great. Like that's awesome. But like just healing sometimes doesn't quite cut it. Like sometimes, yeah, some of these healing classes, their best heals are actually damage abilities. Like they'll do damage and heal. Alas, nature, the very wellspring of her power, holds no interest for the child. And when we should by rights be learning about the land, she prefers instead to wander it, healing people on a whim. It's great that she cares about healing people. But the land needs love too. You, in contrast, have been a most attentive student. I have taught you all I know of the element of earth. You may report back to Brother Isumi and tell him as much. I'm just naturally talented because I'm a short little Lalafell, and Lalafells are amazing. That's why we're shaped the way that we are. Like, if we weren't shaped like potatoes, then we would just be way, way too OP in everything. Like, we gotta look like a small child. That's true. Totally true, Euler. I get Earth because I am much closer to the Earth than that child is. Like she'd have to lay down in order to be as close to Earth as what my character is. Okay. Coming through this tunnel. A detail I don't really notice sometimes is it's like, here are the little signs to be like, here are the different things. Here's a gate to the exit. So where I just came from was the gate to the exit. If I go left, I'm going to go towards the Botanist Guild. And to the right, I'm going to go to the Conjurers Guild. Yes, Mortem. Lala Meta. At least on Primal. Lala Meta right now. My main character will not be turning into a Lala, so don't even think about it. Yeah, I love seeing little details like that, but I'm also so grateful that we don't have a flower pot that is crashing the entire game. It does not have a smaller hitbox, Mortem. It has the same size hitbox. Oh, man, I was going to untarget him just to make a point, but allow me to continue with his dialogue. Ah, Bobo, you have returned, but tell me, how did you fare under Nolanol's expert tutelage? Have you developed deep into the earth and felt its suffocating weight, its life-sustaining vigor? Such experiences will serve you well. And have you aught else to report? A fledgling conjurer named Sophie casting healing magic upon you. How kind of her. I must confess to sharing Nolanol's frustration with the girl. As you yourself have witnessed, Sophie possesses a natural talent for the conjuring of mending and restoration. At last, her gifts appear to have blinded her to the need for study, and she outright refuses to learn about the natural world. She knows nothing of the elements of earth and wind, and is quite incapable of conjuring even the tiniest pebble or the faintest breeze. Sometimes smaller characters make it easier to see mechanics, but trying to do Leap of Faith with a Lalafell, especially when there are MGP events happening or new releases that require a whole bunch of MGP and everyone's like, I'm going to the gold saucer. Good luck seeing your Lalafell. Like, my aura, like, I struggle even with her sometimes trying to see, and I'm like, yes, I know I made her the shortest aura I could possibly make her, but tiny Lalafells, they disappear, man. I've tried upon numerous occasions to explain to her that conjurers who are ignorant of the source of their power pose a risk to themselves and others, but all to no avail. Should she continue to deny the debt she owes to nature and indulge in ever more reckless displays of power, there's every possibility she will create a dangerous imbalance. Needless to say, I am presently at a loss to know how such an eventuality might be prevented. Yes, Vieras are so tall, and it does make them so much easier to see. Like even with some of the taller, larger characters, trying to make them disappear a little bit, it's like, nah. But my bunny ears, because I always go with the largest ears I possibly can, and they stick up really far. Makes it so much easier to see where she's at. Leap of Faith totally could be a challenge. Like, it definitely depends on what Leap of Faith map they give me. Like, I feel like the most recent one, I suck at it. And the ones that just have the tiny little spots to jump on, like the tiniest of tiny little spots. Like, there's one that I swear it's pretty much nothing but 2x4s everywhere. I'm pretty much guaranteed to fail that one. A thought occurs to me, Boba. It may be your encounter with Sylphie was ordained by the elementals. Okay, Guildmaster, what are we rambling on about now? Should you chance meet with her again, I ask that you strive to impress upon her the importance of opening oneself to nature's voice. Mayhap she will listen to you. I am a grown adult that's shorter than her, and she is a child. I think if this were reality, I don't think she would be listening to me more than what she's listening to everyone else. Like, I'm an adult that looks like a small child and am the height of a toddler. Like, she ain't gonna be listening to me. We have discussed our wayward young friend's education, though. Let us speak instead of one of my many more willing pupils, namely you. The progress you have made does you great credit, Boba. Though you are yet new to the art of conjuring, you are no stranger to nature's embrace. Consider all that you have learned. I hope you understand the true significance of these words. Oh yes, the whole in a realm reborn conjurers get a small stick and shield. I do sometimes kind of miss having the small stick and shield. And same with Armitarges, getting the small stick and shield. But then they're like, nah, we need to reduce all of these weapons and all of the inventory bloat and everything like that. And we're like, nah, they just get one big stick. They don't get a shield anymore. No more tiny little sticks. No more little twigs. You get big stick now. Let's see. And when I'm hovering over these, I'm going to be looking at the stats. So this one gives me an extra defense compared to what I normally have. But then I can also right-click on it and select item comparison to better see how this looks against what I am wearing. So what it doesn't know is that I'm going to get extra of mind, and mind helps with healing. So that +1 to mind is actually a great stat to have. Looking at the headpiece compared to my Helm of Light, I would rather have the experience bonus, even if the other stats were balanced. But also, like, having the intelligence, like, that doesn't matter. Having the strength doesn't matter. I don't care about those two stats. Healers don't benefit from intelligence, oddly enough. They don't benefit from strength. It's not like they're literally walking up to the enemies and punching them. They benefit mostly from mine as their primary stat. But experience bonus when level 10 or below. I mean, those 10 levels are going to go by super fast. Like, I'm already level 7 with this character, but I'd like to keep that. Switching out the ring, I don't use determination. The switching out of the ring to get the mind there could be nice, but I need level 9 in order to equip it. So it's not like I can even equip it now. Same with the bracelet, it's level 8, but also the bracelet that I'm wearing already has the one-minded intelligence, so that doesn't really benefit me. It looks like the chest piece I can equip now. It gives me an extra defense, and it gives me the mind that I'm lacking. That's going to be the best item. Now, at lower levels, it's not super duper important to do item comparisons, but it's just nice to get in the habit of it early on for when it does become important, if getting your gear from quests as opposed to purchasing gear and things like that. There we go. Now I look like this guy, just without the hat. Huzzah! Start to look like everyone else. And now back to looking at that stump. Oh, the other thing I recommend doing as a sprout that I didn't talk about, I'm going to go ahead and spend gil on this teleport. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to do it anyway. Is I set this as a favored location because it is the only place I can teleport to aside from Gridania, which is set as my home point. And how I did that was when I select the Aetheryte, there's set home point, register favored location, or register a free token or free destination. I'm actually going to set it to free destination so that way I'm not spending gil on this one in the future because I have that free token from having two-factor authentication enabled. But if you, for some reason, don't have a free destination available to you because you're not a PS5 player and don't have two-factor authentication enabled for some reason or another, at least set it as a favorite destination so that way you can save yourself some gil if you do happen to choose to teleport there. But personally, if you don't go with the setting up two-factor authentication, then I would recommend going with the Chocobo Porters instead and talking to these Chocobo Keeps. Be like, hey, bro. Talk to them and unlock them after level 10, apparently. It's been a hot minute since I've used Chocobo Porters. That is one of the things that having a rich main character has spoiled me on because I usually share my gil with my alts. I'm trying not to do that with this character and work just with her gil that she straight up has. I'm like, wait, I can't have Chocobo Porters this early in the game? I mean, it makes sense. But I haven't had to use Chocobo Porter since I leveled Ziota. Ah. Sometimes I join the fates that I run into just to get a little bit of extra experience, just because I can. But I'm going to focus on getting these guys killed for the hot log at least. Someone else was doing the fate. Like, I wasn't doing anything with this fate. I was focusing on my hunt log. And one of the things that I'm doing with my character is I'm trying to like gradually move her away further in between my cast timers. So that way I have less of a chance of getting hit, but that's just something that comes with practice. I used to play Red Mage and have to do a lot of things like that. And roll actions. Ah, that's because I got Cure. I can now heal. Yay! Yes, that is a good point. Because like most of the time with Fates, especially for a Realm Reborn, Endwalk, or not, Heaven's Ward, the other one that has a W in its abbreviation, and Stormblood don't have quite the rewards that they started introducing in Shadowbringers for Fates. And I do feel like some of the Fates can go really, really slow or be really spread out. So sometimes there's a great benefit to it, but not always. Ah, of course, this one has a cast. So even with enemies like that that have the ability to cast and aren't melee, it can still be of benefit to step backwards because it can interrupt their cast. But with that one, it's a little bit hard with that, like the water sprite there, because its cast timer apparently is faster than mine. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I'm heading towards the East Shroud instead of going to the stump like I'm supposed to. I got distracted by the hunt log. While I'm running, I'm going to check in my hunt log. See what my progress is so far. Thanks for joining, Lethal. Have a good one. And stay warm, by the way. Stay warm. This glow is also a special kind of glow. So when it is less of a sparkle and more of a faded, shimmering, godlike light that is descending upon something like this, this means that you are going to have what is called a solo instance. So it means that it is going to be an instant encounter that other people cannot join you for. It is something that is basically you go into your own area, and there's going to be battle content that is typically involved with it. Especially if you are a battle job, I can pretty much guarantee that there's going to be battle that's happening with it. And it will, after you interact with it, it will come up with dialogue saying you are about to enter an instance battle. Instance battles only occur during certain quests and missions. And like this dialogue that's happening right now is only going to happen the first time. Typically what will happen is there will be a box that comes up letting you know, hey, this is a solo instance. Here are the requirements for this. But in this case, it's giving you that instructional information to say, there's going to be information that's going to come up because you are about to enter an instance battle. and take a moment to read the information in the active help window before proceeding. Because now this is going to be a lot of wordy information and stuff. With the instance battle, it will give you some information. So it says level sync is in effect. That is important for, like, if this case here, it says in the box level 9. If you are above level 9, you are going to be forced to basically be level 9. You will not have access to your abilities that you unlocked after level 9, for instance. I am level 8, so I will not be synced down. I will still be level 8 for this. Sometimes with certain mechanics, sometimes you will be synced upward. But this one, it just says if you are above that maximum level, you're going down. Like if you're level 11, you will be level 9 for this. Any level 11 abilities will not be available to you during this. You will only have anything that's level 9 and below abilities. Typically with these, they will also say something about an item level limit. This one doesn't mention anything about item level, though, because they expect you to do this pretty early on. So they're like, you know what gear you have on is probably okay. Within the tutorial information, it also gives you information about inbounds and out of bounds. That's because you have to stay within a certain area for the solo instance that is happening. Like, everything that's happening is just happening within a very constricted. Look, someone's already here. I like her voice in Japanese. That was nice. What's that Papalino's voice? Oh dear. Is that a sword in the stump? Bad idea. Really bad idea. I love that she's still babbling on. He's just like, is this our dark stranger? Like, he's not going to go on and on about the sword. He's just like, is this who we're looking for? Alright, the Moogle's got our back. It says, no, not this one. Not even close, Kupo. You know her, Kuplo Cop? Well, not exactly, but we did once share a carriage. Isn't that right, Kupo? I added the extra Kupo because I felt like it was fitting. Special goggle time. How are the readings? Yeah, he does have that high quality voice acting. Same as the last. There's a disturbance here as well, and newly manifested at that. Kuplo Cop seems convinced of your innocence, but if this isn't who you're doing, then whose is it? Yeah, it'd be really awesome to have those goggles. Like, could you imagine having goggles like that? Like, for instance, like as you're crafting wearing those goggles, that would be awesome. Making sure that all of your crafts have the right energies. Ever since the calamity, the force has been really sensitive. Slightest disruption to the etheric flow. And this sort of thing happens. No, I made it such a point to not piss off the treants. Now we've pissed off the treants. Seems we have little choice. Do you want to get eaten? Hit them harder! I'm trying! It's like there's only so much punching a tree can do. Step a little further back. Make sure they're not doing things that are going to hit me too much. I also love how little Lollifells run around sometimes. Tab targeting is not getting the one I want. Ah! They snuck up on me. Did NPCs just heal me? Like, I'm a conjurer. I can heal myself now. I'm a good enough conjurer to have cure. Sorry, treants. Ooh, rock candy. Floating rock candy. I feel like doing this kind of suits the Lullafell. It's like, leave it to a Lullafell to be like, there's rock candy on the ground. Maybe I should touch it. But it looks yummy. It's blue. Hear, feel, think. I mean, the cotton candy is so awesome. That's causing fireworks. Crystal bearer. I am Heidelin, all made one. A light once was shown through this realm, now made dim. As it hath faltered, so hath darkness risen up in its dead passage at the end of life. For the sake of all, I beseech thee, deliver us from this fate. Power to banish darkness dwelleth in the crystals of light. Journey forth and collect them. That's it. I wasn't fast enough. I mean, she's encouraging me to get more rock candy. By thy deeds shall the crystals reveal themselves to thee. Only believe, for light liveth in thy heart. So, you want everybody to go find this rock candy? I thought I was getting special rock candy. I want to be special with my rock candy. Go now, my child, and shine thy light on all creation. I mean, she's a big giant-sized rock candy herself. That must mean she's legit, right? It is funny at the toddler age how strong stranger danger can be in some toddlers and how weak it is in other toddlers. Like for my sister and I when growing up, my sister had like next to no sense of stranger danger. Like she was just always chill with absolutely everybody. Me on the other hand, everyone except my mom was stranger danger. Like I was not having it with other people at all. I was like, no. If my mom's not here, you are stranger, and I am not okay with this. If you are closer to me than my mom is, stranger, I will lose my shit. I feel like my daughter leans a little bit more towards me like that. Like, I mean, for the most part, she gets okay. It's just so long, like if you don't have a beard, she's better. If you have a beard and are even so much as looking at her, she's gonna lose her shit. And it's like, no, you are a stranger. I'm not used to people with beards. No. Get away from me. But like we were at the store and checking out and we were doing a self-checkout and the person running the self-checkout took it upon herself to walk up to my daughter and start trying to tickle my daughter. And then looked at me all offended, like, why is your daughter screaming at me and upset right now? I'm like, you are a stranger and are touching her. Like, how would you feel if I tickled you right now? Would you be okay with that? No, probably not. You would probably be like, excuse me, don't touch me. That's exactly what she's doing to you right now. You fainted a surfeit of aether, no doubt. And what have we here? Our culprit, it would seem, an Ixal. And no ordinary Ixal either, a chieftain.
しかし、こんなところにまで侵入してくるなんて、何者かが先導してるって情報は本当かもな。
That they would venture this deep into enemy territory, the beastmen may indeed be acting under orders.
こちらパパにも。
大丈夫？エーテル酔いはもう冷めた？
Glad she waited for an answer from me on that one. How are we feeling then? Better? Good. Like, I'm just sitting there staring off into space. I don't even have pupils. How do you know I'm feeling okay? Giant crystals. Can't say I've seen any. Are you sure you're feeling better? You're trying to tell me the giant rock candy is fake?
了解。更新終わり。
Understood. Over and out. See, he has pupils and I don't. That was an intentional choice on my part, but I'm leaning with it. Kuplokop, please bear word of these developments to Brother Isumiyan. We shall soon return to give her full report. Understood. Over and out, Koopa. Here's where we part ways. Till next time, take care. Let's not even introduce ourselves then, alright.
そこの剣を引き抜いて連兵所の人に届ければ何かわかるかもしれないよ。じゃあね。
I think that sword might be a clue. Should definitely pull it out and take it back to the Bannock. And waving like we're besties. Like, I don't even know your names.
もしかしてさっきの冒険者クポロコップのこと見えてた？
I don't suppose that adventurer could see Kuplokop, do you? And this occurs to you now?
さあ、どうだかね。時期にわかるかもよ。いろいろとね。
Yes, it seemed that way. Time will tell.
いろいろか。私も気になってることがあるんだけどね。深いね、その言葉。
Well, time will have to because you won't. You never tell me what's really going on, unless you don't know what's going on either.
お前が浅いんだよ。
Ugh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? See. And since I have free location, I don't have to run all the way back, and I can just free teleport. Huzzah for saving Gil and time with running. And don't mind me, not only did I pick up rock candy that looked a little suspicious on the ground and am potentially listening to the woman that I don't know, or the rock, giant rock that I don't know, tell me, hey, go get more rock candy, and trying to get more rock candy so I can try to eat the rock candy. I'm also running with a sword. I am making some awesome decisions today. I need a more adult person with me. I'm too short to adult. Boba, it's good to see you back. Yes, I did not slice myself open with this sword as I was running with it. One of our patrols sent word that you'd been spotted doing battle with enraged treants. I said trance how many times a day, and now I can't say it? I am relieved to find you none the worse for the experience. But tell me, what were you able to discover at Lifeman's Stump? Yeah, you see this giant sword that's bigger than I am that I've been running with? Yeah. This is what I found. And it suddenly disappeared. We're not even looking at it. A sword in the stump and a dead Ixal. I could say with absolute certainty that this blade is Ixali origin. It is the kind used exclusively in the Beastmen's rituals. So now they're called Society Quests, but in the MSQ we still refer to them as Beastmen. Like that. They might want to consider going through, like if their goals with changing the names of the Society Quests still align with why they changed the name of them, they should probably go through the MSQ and update the MSQ and not refer to them as Beastmen in the MSQ. The Ixal rarely set foot in the central shroud, so tight is our guard over the area. What purpose could have driven them to take such a risk? I fear something is afoot. What's that? A dubious couple sporting peculiar spectacles. So you've finally been acquainted with Ida and Papolino. Lay your suspicions to rest. Gridania counts them among her staunchest allies. Both are scholars hailing from a distant land and have been with us since before the calamity. Yes, totally both scholars. Like, obviously they both knew exactly what was going on, and one was not being like, can't she see what's happening here? Oh, time will tell because you're not going to tell me what's happening. Like, I wouldn't, based upon that little small interaction, I wouldn't call them both scholars, but sure. She is a scholar of the punching arts. Their garb may appear outlandish and their exchanges baffling, but never once have they given us cause to doubt them. I mean, you see my outfit right now, right? And you see your outfit, right? I mean, you are wearing some mighty pink shoes there, sir. Why are they so pink? I mean that in the kindest way. I mean, I also somewhat say the same thing about a couple other NPCs that are also deemed to be scholars. I'm like, well, just depends on their area, I guess. Like, I mean, I feel like she is very good at physical combat and everything. Like that seemed to all check out. But as far as a scholar of what's happening in a conversation, no, she is not a she does not understand what's happening in the conversation sometimes. Which, I mean, there are plenty of scholars who, like, maybe she's an absolute genius. Like, her IQ is so high that she is just that unaware of what's happening in conversations. Because sometimes that can happen, I guess. Indeed, they often assist the gods Quiver and the Wood Whalers in their work, much as I hope you will in the days to come, Boba. Although our unknown visitor eludes us, owing to your efforts, we have acquired important intelligence on the Ixali threat. You have my gratitude. We are fortunate indeed to have a capable adventurer such as you aiding us. I pray you will continue to serve the people of Gridania in whatever capacity you are able. Yes, give me more gil. Huzzah! A level! He wants me to... What? He wants me to grab eggs? Okay. We went from collecting raw candy to getting eggs. Okay. I'd rather get the raw candy, please, sir. Thank you. Boba, injuries to several of my men have left me short-handed, and I require a capable sword to complete their unfinished duty. I like that. Like, I've barely even started, but I am deemed capable. I felt like I was doing nothing to those treants, but sure, I'm capable. Task is simple. Put down as many of the local... I'm going to mispronounce it, so I'm going to skip it. The bug population as necessary to acquire 3 of their egg sacs. That doesn't sound gross at all. Having done so, you are to deliver them to... Yeah, I apparently should have gotten more sleep because I'm looking at words and I'm like, I am totally gonna butcher that. Deliver them to this person. Deliver them to M at Gilbert Spire. He will answer any queries you may have. Now I have other business to attend to. That name just, it looks elven to me, so the M elf with a really long name that I will butcher. Gonna go get me some bug eggs. Gonna go get some bug eggs. And it looks like I have to kill the bugs directly. I need 3 of them? Okay, so let's attack 3 of them. The nice thing about casting is once you make so much progress on the cast bar, you can start running. You don't have to stand still for the entire cast timer. So it makes running around and casting so much more efficient. Ah, I was right. Hello, Elizin. Call Elizin with a name that I would butcher. Hello, sir. You must be the adventurer standing in front of, or in for our injured companions. Terribly unfortunate business, that. The fact that they're injured or the fact that I'm doing something for you? Like, you can never tell with these Elizins sometimes. Like, I feel like he intended to say, oh, it's unfortunate that you're doing this. Like, why you? Dude, I have pointy ears too. And mine might be as long as yours. I could have made them longer. I think I actually made her ears fairly short for a Lalafell. But I could have made them stick out like ridiculously far if I wanted to. And they would have been bigger and more pointy than his. And I'm at the perfect height to Tanya Harding those kneecaps there, sir. So, you know, let's not offend me. It seems, however, that you had a little trouble gathering the egg sacs in their stead. Excellent work. He was trying to... What an ass. I shall have them sent over to the Trapper's League immediately. He doubted me. Lest you wonder, these egg sets are not intended for the dinner table. I mean, that's not where my mind was going. I was really hoping you weren't going to eat bug eggs, but I didn't necessarily think you were gonna. Like, thanks for clarifying that you weren't, I guess. Members of the Twin Adder and Wood Ailers are assisting the League by collecting the samples they need to check for signs of sickness. The bugs, you see, is one of the few creatures capable of transmitting the disease known as the Creeping Death. Oh. So basically they're mosquitoes and transmitting the West Nile. Thanks, bud. Until relatively recently, any here who contracted this ghastly illness would almost invariably perish. Indeed, a single outbreak once claimed the lives of a third of the Hurrian population here in Gridania. It was a long time ago, of course. With the medicines available to us now, the creeping death is not the killer it once was. Okay, so you guys are pro-vaccine. Got it. Even so, it is best to halt any new outbreaks before they occur. Thus, we gather bug eggs on a regular basis in order to assist the Trappers League with their ongoing research. Your timely assistance is most appreciated. Okay, that makes way more sense. I'm fine with getting bug eggs in that case. Keep doing your research, sir. Just don't be an ass about me helping in the future. Oh, now he's going to ask me for more help after being an ass about accepting my help to begin with. Okay. Such an embarrassing turn of events. Now he's embarrassed to ask me for help. Of course he is. But, dude, don't hate against the Lalafell man. I sent a recruit from the Bannock on a surveying expedition only for the caravan to turn tail and flee at the first sign of trouble. It is not how we treat requests from the conjurers. And as if a poor showing weren't bad enough, the lily-wyvered half-wit left behind the surveying equipment provided by Hero Pauline herself. While I attempt to instill some backbone into the so-called soldier, would you mind recovering the survey gear and returning it to Hero Pauline at Gimbono's bower? Okay. According to my recruit's tale of woe, there should be a set of survey records, a surveyor's rope, and 2 boxes of surveyor's instruments strewn about the interior of a cave to the south of here. It is a wonder the damn fool didn't lose his boots. Well, he's just a he just gets so confident about everybody. No wonder he doesn't want to ask me for help and is embarrassed to ask me for help. He's embarrassed about this guy. Matron watch over you. Sure, I'll go pick up this stuff. Why not? Okay, I actually might just run back over to Benbridge Ranch Meadows looking at the time here. So I do want to bring up Tuesday's stream. And I know I said I was going to make a poll for Tuesday's stream. I've been severely lagging behind with how much I've been trying to stalk the weather and everything like that. Make sure that I am properly prepared. And make sure like my family is all good with their preparations and everything like that. But I will make a poll at some point in the future for variety streams. Looking through my game list, I have a couple options that I will, if I don't get a poll up, that I will probably pick from. One of the options is for me to try out Expedition 33. I've had it since the Steam Winter Sale, and I haven't gotten a chance to try it yet. I'd really, really like to try it because it looks like an absolutely fantastic and amazing game, and like no one seems surprised that it took so many awards at the Game of the Year Awards. So it's one that I would really like to try out one of these days during stream. Another one is I have been working on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth pretty much since it came out, but I've been taking rather long breaks from it. And I was working towards getting platinum with that game. And I got most of the way through hard mode, like through almost all of the hard mode chapters, and then I've taken a really long break. So it might be something where I return to that on Tuesday and try continuing my progression towards platinum in that game. Or I could play modded Stardew Valley. If I do modded Stardew Valley, I did mess up my Steam Deck with modded Stardew Valley just a little bit, trying to get online services to work so that I could co-op that game. But so it doesn't want to boot up quite properly at the moment. So I am working on tweaking that, but I would probably play on PC anyway, just get all of my mods copied over from my Steam Deck and added to my PC, And if my save files don't transfer over, then I would probably just start a new save of Stardew. So if I don't get a poll set up before Tuesday with those options for voting on, I will probably either start stream with saying, hey, I'm going to do one of these three. What do you think? Or I will just make a pick based upon how drained I am from the day. Just because Tuesdays typically is me and my daughter charging through the entire day. And then in the evening is my decompress time. So sometimes, like, I'm not of the mentality to be able to do hard mode in Final Fantasy Rebirth or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like, I might not be able to handle something quite that intense because I'm pretty far into hard mode of that. Like, I think I'm at like the end of chapter 12 or something like that. So we shall see. I'm going to try to get a poll set up, and that way there's at least a chance to get some feedback before then. But anyhow, I hope to see you all there on Tuesday. And then on Friday, I will resume unlocking the raid tier with my main character. We got through the first 2 fights, so we've got 2 more fights to go. They keep saying there's only 1 more, but yeah, we know there's got to be 2. There just has to be. So we'll continue working on the raid tier on Friday. But anyhow, feel free to join the Discord as well. If you're not in the Discord yet and want to join, in chat, just type !Discord, and you should get a link directly to the Discord and be able to click on that link and join the Discord that way. And there's all kinds of different things to access in the Discord, whether it be that you are interested in seeing and talking more Final Fantasy XIV, or whether it be that you're more into the cozy stuff, or you're into both and want to check out both. There's plenty of information that I have posted in there, including a lot of tips and advice. I'm actually trying to remember exactly how I have, I'm sorry, not tips and advice. I have it posted as resources. Lots of Final Fantasy XIV resources, some resources for some other things, such as some things for the Steam Deck, like if you want to do some modifications for your Steam Deck and things like that. And there are some people in the Discord that are looking to meet new friends out there. Anyhow, I will continue posting on to each of my socials. Like I alluded to in my announcement earlier today about TikTok. TikTok is acting super weird. Like my announcement for today's live stream, after an hour, literally still had no views, which I never, ever, ever have seen that happen with any of my posts before. Even with another account that I had, there's always views. It always pops up on someone's For You, and it didn't. And then yesterday's post, I think when I checked earlier, had like 14 views, which again, never seen that in the first 24 hours. So TikTok is acting weird. So if you're not following me on some of my other socials and want some of those stream alerts, follow me on those socials. I also try to make sure that my bots are properly posting in the Discord server. And if they don't post, then I will. Like I had to do today for Kick and Friday for Kick, because Nodi is being a bit of a turd as far as those alert notifications. And with that, I'm going to close out a stream here. Have a wonderful, fantastic rest of your day. Thank you guys so much again for joining. It is an absolute blast hanging out with all of you and chatting with all of you as we're working on various different things in this game as well as other games. And I really hope all of you stay warm, stay safe. If you're in an area that got lots of snow and ice, please stay home. Do not try to venture out in any of it. And if you are losing power or anything like that, make sure that you stay warm and safe, whether it be you have to find another location to go to and all of that jazz. But anyhow, have a good rest of your day, and let's close this out with some music.